Hi there everybody, this is David, and yesterday I talked to y'all about my experience with the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, and I got to play another game while I was there at PAX West, and it's Octopath Traveler Zero's turn for me to just go over everything that I did and tell y'all every little tiny thing that I can tell y'all about. And I definitely do think that's worth a sub as you come and you join my party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for the sub, the like, and the hype. It helps me out a ton. So, I love the Octopath Traveler series. It's quickly become one of my favorite series out there. It's really just great. And this one here is based upon Champions of the Continent, which was the mobile game, but this is now a console experience, full console experience, no gacha, no free-to-play, nothing else like that. This is definitely a full, realized Octopath Traveler game. This is a full console experience. It takes place within the world of the very first game, and some party members from the first game will be joining up with you. In fact, up to 30 different characters, more than 30 characters, can join your party. The break and the boost battle system is still there, and the base jobs from the previous Octopath Traveler games are all still there, like Hunter, Apothecary, Dancer, all those things are still there, but they have brand new skills, new abilities, and new weapons. I personally noticed books and fans as two new weapon types. Random battles are still here, just like in the first two games. I wasn't able to do the new protagonist creation. My demo took place around level 30, so it was like smack dab in the middle of the game. One thing that I did notice is your protagonist is silent. There is no voice acting, there is no talking for your protagonist. The most the protagonist does is emote with like a little, water droplet on his head or something, or the three little ellipses coming up. But no talking, he is a silent protagonist. I spent roughly 5 or so minutes in Wishvale doing town building, and then the rest of the demo off kind of exploring the town and going to the dungeon that they wanted me to go to, because they would not let me go off the beaten path. Believe me, I tried, and then the handler came over like, no, don't do that, so I couldn't do it. It was very unfortunate to me, but whatever. So you can build facilities, you can build decorations, you can build ground tiles in your town, and whenever you do recruit residents to your town, each of them has unique different skills, which remind me a ton of Breath of Fire 2. You can also do like raising crops and raising livestock and things like that. And rather than time going by making your crops grow, your crops will grow and your livestock will progress the more battles that you complete, which is kind of cool. Every single time that a character joins your party, they do become residents of your town, and then you get like a little portrait showing off their weapons, their battle skills, their support skills, what they do bring to the table, and you can even establish trade routes with other towns, which would unlock new items back in your hometown of Wishvale. And I noticed that there were like these 3 stats, and when you did certain things, the 3 stats would raise up. I'm not really sure what raised up each stat or what it was, but you can have your wealth, your power, and your fame. And I think that wealth increases the more that you recruit characters, which unlocks more space to build in Wishvale, and it increases, your town and everything else. I'm not really sure about power or fame and how those level up. It looks like there's like story events related to each of those 3 different influences right there, and you can kind of go through them, and it looked kind of side questy. Like you can get your wealth stat all the way up, your power stat all the way up, your fame stat all the way up if you want to, or you could focus on the main story. But the way to recruit all those 30 plus characters would be to go down those side questy things of wealth, power, or fame. So that's kind of what I suppose it was. I had roughly 45 or so minutes to fool around with the game. That's kind of what I was getting there. So one thing I did notice with the town building is, in order to build the shops and the restaurants and the houses and the decorations and all that, you'll need materials. And you gather the crafting crap through little sparklies around the map, or you could just buy them or whatever. And some of the special decorations and things that you can put in the towns actually would, like, you know, speed up your production of your food and things like that. And you can move around the structures as you like, and if you put it somewhere and you don't want it there, you can like take it back and then move it somewhere else with no penalty. There's ultimate techniques which have been added, but it's only for the protagonist, or at least only my protagonist had access to an ultimate technique. I didn't see ultimate techniques for any of the other characters, just the protagonist. The various skills that you learn, though, can be equipped and swapped around just like equipment, just like gear. But once, like, let's say that you're, you know, an apothecary and you learn a healing skill, and you only have that one healing skill, you know, not everybody can actually equip it. Not all 8 characters can equip that one healing skill because you'll just have the one. So it's just like if you have one sword, only one character can equip that sword. It's the same thing with that healing skill. You can transfer them around, but only one character can have it. Support skills do return as well, and it works the same way whenever you learn your regular job skills, your 7 skills. As you learn those, you'll also learn support skills. So that's kind of nice. Let's talk about the 2 rows. So the characters in the back row. So during battle, in the other Octopath Traveler games, you had 4 characters during battle. But now, because you can recruit like 30 freaking characters, you can have 8 characters in battle. And all 8 characters gain 1 BP point every single turn, even if they're in the back row. The exception would be, you know, if they already boosted that turn, then they don't get their BP point, which really does help you, you know, really use these really powerful skills and all that kind of stuff, because you have access to all these characters all gaining up all this BP, and whenever they are in the back row, those characters will gain extra HP and SP each turn, very similar to something like Breath of Fire 4 or Quartet, and you can swap your rows out whenever you want to. It doesn't you won't like lose a turn by swapping somebody out. You can use whoever you want to, whenever you want to. So I think that your characters should complement one another. If you have like somebody who uses swords and axes in the front row, you should put somebody who's like staves and books in the back row, so you can exploit all those weaknesses, which was really freaking cool. There are elite foes in every single dungeon, but they actually appear on screen now. Remember in Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, you would go there and it would just say something like, "You feel a really powerful evil presence right here. Do you want to proceed?" You hit yes, and then you get into a battle. Now you can actually see them in dungeons, so that's a really nice addition. There is a mini-map, and the mini-map does reveal itself as you explore the various dungeons. There are sparklies on the mini-map, clearly shown, treasures clearly shown on the mini-map, and the little special, I don't know, like the investigation skills, I guess, or the recruitment skills, those are still there. And it's kind of nice, because one of the annoying things I've got to say in the previous games was like, I would want to, you know, steal something or entreat something from a character, but I didn't have Agnia or Throny in my party, so I had to like go to the cafe and bring them in and then do all that. But now you can pretty much use those skills whenever you want to, and you can get information from them, you can take items from them, you can recruit them into your party and use their attacks as well, which is nice. I noticed that all the story cutscenes are fully voice acted. However, the NPC dialogue and those sequences like that in party chat was just text only. So NPC dialogue, townfolk dialogue, party chat is no voice acted, but everything with a storyline cutscene is fully voice acted. And I did kind of notice, I didn't notice it in the trailers, but as I was playing the game, I did notice how the graphics didn't look as high quality as Octopath Traveler 2. So I know that this game is still in development. Like, it's still going on. It's not released until December, so it still has some time to cook. But I could tell, because the graphics just weren't as good as Octopath Traveler 2, there is some still mobile roots there. I got to the end of the dungeon, and whenever you got to the boss, it was just like a static portrait. It was just like a static picture. They weren't like moving or breathing or doing anything like this. They were just static and still. And I was like, oh, that looks very, very mobile right there. They did animate once the battle began, but whenever they're like on screen and the map, they're just very still, which was kind of disappointing. I was like, wow, that's like right out of the NES even, kind of strange right there. So yeah. I think that it was a really fun game. It kind of felt like Octopath meets Breath of Fire with a little bit of like Stardew Valley thrown in. I got to go into the town building mode, one town of exploration, and then one dungeon. So it was, from what I played, I did seem to really enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed the battle system, especially. I think the battle system in Octopath Traveler is super fun with the shield points and the breaking and the boosting and all that kind of stuff. I had a blast with this game, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it more in December. So now I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about this game? Are you excited about it? Sound off in the comments. Let me know, and have a good day.